Good evening, everybody, or good morning, wherever you're coming in from the world. I am coming to you live from Bath in the UK, where I have been for maybe 5 days now, a wee while. And tonight, or it's this morning, whatever, I am interviewing my friend down in New Zealand, so the opposite end of the world, Shauna Anderson. She is in beautiful Nelson in New Zealand. She's an independent consultant and regional vice president, like me, in Arbonne. And tonight, we're going to be talking about business and nutrition because, like me, she is also a personal trainer and she's very, very passionate about fitness, about health, and about nutrition. So she is going to be joining us right now. I can see her being added. I'm just going to move my phone because it all enlarge me. It always enlarges your head as soon as you go live on these. Hello, my darling.
Good morning. Oh my goodness. Old dog, new tricks.
No, it's honestly, it's not you. Sometimes it just doesn't work on the iPhone, on the iPad. It's just weird. So good to see you. Thank you so much for joining me on your
Oh,
morning.
thank you for asking.
My pleasure. So I've just done a little bit of an intro. I just told them, hey, I was just trying to remember, have you been in Arbonne for 6 years or 5 years?
5 years now, but realistically, I started 4 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, because you had like a pretend to do Arbonne for a year.
Oh yeah, all the stuff I used, all of it, and then I was like, "Yep, I'm in business." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Now."
I know. I've heard so many people do that. They're like, so that's when I started, but that's when I
Yeah,
started. Like I got it. It clicked. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
And so you are, can you tell us for a start, I've told them you're a Nelson, you work as a PT. Can you tell the guys what your background is and what you are doing now, like work-wise, business-wise, everything like that?
Easy, easy peasy. So my background is actually in corporate sales, so in the competitive industry of telecommunications and print solutions. So massively crazy industry, high pressure, like just non-stop. And the rewards were great, but the impact on my health was not. So, and it was all that cumulative effect that I didn't realize. And then a few years ago, I basically had a meltdown and I couldn't continue working in that role. So I had to step away from a very lucrative career, moved to sunny Nelson, which is moved from Christchurch, which is a 400,000 person city, to Nelson, which is about 40,000. And I arrived here and was like, yes, amazing. The sunshine's great. The beaches are great. And then it was like, oh my God, what am I going to do for work? And there's no corporate role paying 6 figures in Nelson. So I ended up working 2 part-time jobs at minimum wage. The ego took a bit of a battering, and they were jobs I hated, absolutely hated. And so if you then enter my girlfriend of 11 years, Emma Wojtus, shows up and with these samples and said, I'm starting an Arbonne business. And I was just like, oh, go you girlfriend. And and she's, you're doing it with me. And I'm like, no, I am not sick online. Um, and fast forward, it is the best decision I've ever made. Like, next to marrying my husband, it is the best decision I've ever made on so many levels. So I've been able to retire myself from my working career, and my Arbonne business is my full-time gig now. And it just enables me to do the things that I've always wanted to do. Like, it's freed up time. I can now do crazy things like enter a bodybuilding competition at 54.
You're amazing.
Thank you. It was definitely a work in progress. I was not this amazing version 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, so incredible. I did not know that you knew Em for so long. I thought actually, because I met Em at the poolside. So guys, this is how
Oh,
fabulous Avon can be. I was sitting at the poolside at the Intercontinental in the Gold Coast, and Emma and I had earned this incentive for area managers that had done a certain volume. We were like the regional vice presidents to be. This was
yes.
4 years ago, basically 2 months ago, 4 years ago. And Em
Yeah.
and I were hanging out by the pool, and we were a bit nervous. Well, I was. I don't know if she was, because you didn't know anybody, and it was a big deal because I think only like 13 of us earned it that year. And And
Yeah.
I sort of looked over and I was like, hi. And we've been friends ever since. And
Oh,
we went vice president about the same time. And then, yeah, so I didn't know you guys. Did you know each
yeah.
other from Canada? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Funny enough, you don't need to be Canadian in order to be an Arbonne. So Emma is from Eastern Canada and I'm from Western Canada, but we've both lived in Christchurch for a long time. And the only good thing to come out of the Christchurch earthquakes was that's how I met Emma. We both had a trainer, but trained at different times at the gym. So we never really met each other. And then when the earthquakes happened, the gyms were all closed in Christchurch, and our personal trainer basically set up small group training out of her home. And that's when I met Emma, and it was just like instant, like click. And I never thought we'd have this friendship that we have, you know, was it 12 years ago, the earthquakes. So from then, she's a corporate financial controller and I was in my corporate life, so we lived the same lifestyle, and now we're both able to do this amazing business. And she literally, at a time that you know, my life had taken a massive turn, you know, going from corporate life to minimum wage life, she was my lifeline. She was absolutely my lifeline. And, you know, the reason I jumped into the business was she said, you know, you come and do this and it'll be amazing. We'll be like a little girl gang. And literally, I didn't realize what I was saying yes to. You know, when I first said yes to the business, I was like, maybe I could make some shoe money, you know, to get back to some of my spending habits I used to have in corporate, because I'm now earning minimum wage. But the big thing for me was I loved Emma, and it meant that I could spend more time with Emma. I was, you know, and then we've created this incredible community, and our friendship's just gotten better, and I've earned way more than shoe money.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the best. Hey, and guys, just by the way, obviously Shauna and I, we're not typical, but we are what's possible. If you want to see what's typical and average, you just go to earnings.arbonne.com and you can see everything there. It's full disclosure. But you know, when we started this business and when we really saw the vision and we met people in the business who were making a go of us, we realized that our results were in our own hands. And
100%.
you know, like, and I think that's what's so powerful. And often people are afraid of sales and they're afraid of putting themselves out there. But it's like, where else in your life do you have an uncapped opportunity? Yeah. And that's, I think, like, that's the most powerful thing, whether you're looking at making that shoe money and not feeling guilty for buying a pair of shoes because your husband earns all the money, or, you know, buying a dress and having to ask, or whether you want to make it a big thing like what we have done. You know, I travel the world. All I do is Arbonne. Shauna's like a bodybuilder. Like, she's like amazing. You know, like that takes time.
Yeah.
um,
And it takes the time. Like, I wouldn't have had the time to train for a bodybuilding competition if I was working full time. Like, I just would not be able to do that. And like you know, I've got a twang. I'm originally from Canada. My family and friends are still back there. So, you know, outside of that little COVID thing that was going on globally, I can get back there once or twice a year. And I'm still working my business. You know, in corporate, I was like, please, 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 can I take 4 weeks off or 3 weeks? And they go, oh, that's not convenient to us. So, you know, I don't have to ask for time off. And like you, I love to travel. So there's so many exciting things that we can see and do out there with a portable business. Like, as long as you've got your laptop or your phone on you, how great, you know. And you talked about the you know, the typical earnings, and I often say to people, you know, that's just a stat. You know, we just need more people to believe in themselves, and that stat changes over time.
Yeah, absolutely. I so agree. I think that belief is something, and it builds. The longer
Yeah.
you're up on, the more you believe because you see evidence, right? Like you see,
Yeah.
hey, if that girl can do it, why can't I? You know, she's no different to me. Just either worked harder, was in it for longer, believed in herself more, got over herself faster.
Yeah. I still maintain that it's a personal development company masquerading as a skincare and nutrition company.
So much,
Because
so much.
broken 5 years ago, I literally had a nervous breakdown. So and I've had to rebuild myself. So the work that we do in personal development has enabled me to, you know, regain that confidence. And I think so many women, you know, in their 40s and 50s, you know, like myself, I'm 54 this year. And, you know, as we approach the 50 mark, we start to become a little bit invisible. And as we start to feel invisible, we start pulling back from things, you know, so we become even more invisible. And it's just a mindset. You know, if we can work on like understanding the great things that we can bring to the table at any age, and not start doubting ourselves because we've now finished raising our families, or you know, the work life has changed. How great that you can channel that into something that anybody can be successful at. Like, it blows my mind. It's such a smart business model.
Mm. It's so
So
so smart. And it's really interesting because I bet if 10 years ago someone had asked either of us if we would be doing network marketing, like selling on the internet as our job, we would have
yes,
laughed, you know, we would have laughed
yeah,
because we don't know what we don't know. And I honestly think like sometimes it takes us to really open our eyes or to have something happen in our lives. And for you, that was like a nervous breakdown. For
yeah.
me, it was a lot of things were going on. That's a whole nother story. But I just think, imagine if we'd had this 10 years ago.
Oh,
Like, whoa.
I used to design data networks that the internet runs on for large corporates and governments. So, you know, if I look back to my sales career, my clients could only be in a certain geographical area. Like now we've got this interweb thing, and they can be anywhere. And I have my, you know, most incredible experience to be able to connect with people around the world. You know, I can now connect with people around the world, help them build a business or introduce them to a healthier lifestyle that I never would have had the opportunity to meet in real life. Like,
Yeah.
how amazing is that?
That I
Like,
know. And the internet, I think, like as crappy as COVID was, I think it really showed us. I mean, I was stuck in Gisborne. I mean, Gisborne and Nelson are like two of the smallest cities in New Zealand. There is not much going on in G Town. And
no,
you know, but thanks to the internet, I was able to run a successful business from
yeah,
my home, from my mother's home. It was incredible. I would have been jobless because I worked in the fitness industry. Like I would have had no job because all the gyms
yeah,
closed. So,
yeah.
thinking of nutrition, I would love to hear how you work our nutrition products in with your day and what they have done for you personally, but
Mm.
also what they've done for people that you share them with, like your clients and things.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, one of those things that I didn't realize in terms of health, like I've always been into health and wellness and coaching people, but I didn't realize that as we age, our organs age. And they're not quite as efficient as they used to be when we were younger. And we know this because we go out drinking, you know, back when we were, you know, in our 20s and 30s, we're like, oh, no problems. They jump up out of bed the next day and they do it all over again. Not that I gave up drinking 3 years ago, but the organs aren't as efficient at filtering your blood. And so often my clients are, I'm so tired, I've got no energy, I'm dragging my butt through the day. And it's because our organs can't filter our blood as fast. So the more we can remove the toxins out of our body, whether that's what you're eating or what you're putting on your skin, game changer. Right there, game changer, instant energy. And the way that, you know, I do it and the way that my clients have done it is the nutrition range is amazing. So increasing my protein content, that's without question. You know, I eat a lot of protein to build muscles, and I prefer to get it from a vegan source. I prefer to get it from, you know, a plant-based source wherever possible. The pre and probiotics, the gut health, incredible once you understand all of that. So my green gut glow shot is what I preach to my ladies. So your greens powder, your gut health, and your glow shot for your collagen builder. And it's not just the vanity metrics in collagen, it's what it's doing for your connective tissue, your muscles, all of those things, you know, particularly as we age. And then because I'm a little bit extra, I do the mind health.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so it's a giant green cocktail that I start my day with. And that is like even just making those simple changes every day, like just changes your whole internal health. And if you're eating good food and nutrient dense food, you're building healthier cells. So, you know, the glowing skin and all that really starts on the inside, and then what you're using topically matters. But the first protocol is always, you know, what's going on in your gut. So I love, love, love the nutrition range. I've used a lot of sports supplements and nutrition, but because I'm a little bit of an ingredient nerd, I do the research. I Google the individual components to understand the impact on overall health. Like, you cannot get a cleaner product on the market today that's also, you know, vegan certified, you know, formulated without gluten, formulated without any nasties in it. There is nothing cleaner. Like, that's revolutionary. Like, it's changed my health. And if you had told me, you know, 5 years ago that I'd be entering, you know, a bodybuilding competition in my 50s, I never would have believed you. But I have the photos to prove.
Yeah, and you look amazing in your photos. I mean, you look amazing all the time, but you look, holy heck, she's like cut like a sandwich.
Well, not cut like a sandwich right now. I'm in build mode, so I'm
Yeah.
feeling a bit, but I'm healthy. You know, I'm healthy, I'm vibrant, I'm energetic. I think, you know, when you get that nutrition basis right, you know, get the foundations right, I'm healthier and more energetic in my 50s than I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
You know, and I just wish that for so many other people, you know. So I see it as my mission to go out and help a few, and then train another few to help a few, and that just becomes that massive ripple effect out there.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I think I so agree, like everything comes from our insides. Like people are so often looking for quick fixes or you know, just all these crazy things that are going on. But really, if we just think of our foundation, which is really our gut health,
Yeah.
what we're consuming, then everything else follows. So all of what you just said, I just love so much. I've got one more question for you before we finish off, and that is like, what are you most excited about right now in your Arbonne business for the future?
Okay. I have some massive goals in terms of how many people I can help. So I measure those metrics. You know, how many client testimonials do I come back with, you know, where people have said, you've changed my life, just like Emma changed my life. You know, she just become part of her girl gang. But in terms of my Arbonne business specifically, there are so many people that I've been able to help with this business that, you know, with rising living costs, they have not been able to pay their bills. So for me, even if I can help someone earn their grocery money, you know, forget about shoes, because that's a bit of a luxury these days, grocery money, sending their kids on, you know, the school trip, you know, those little things. If I can help, you know, 100 people next year earn more money to pay their necessities, to take the pressure off, because there's nothing worse than stress. Like, I've seen firsthand what that environmental, business, physical stress takes on, you know, how it takes its toll on the body. If I can help take that stress off of families, amazing. Like, so that's my mission. And then I have some passion projects. I'm very passionate about endangered animals in Africa, you know, the big animals. So I do quite a bit of donating to various causes over there. My goal one day is to go and, you know, deliver a water system to a village over there and do a bit of a pilgrimage trip. That sort of stuff excites me. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't have the ability to make a difference in my corporate career. It was very much, you know, which corporate, you know, earning $1 million contracts, you know, it's nice, but it's not really impacting people's lives. How can I impact people's lives personally? And that's through my Arbonne team and helping people earn an income. Because I didn't have children, so they're my children.
Yeah, it's incredible. You're an
I'm not actually comfortable with when, you know, 40-year-old and 50-year-old women are calling me mama.
you're an amazing woman, and I just like appreciate you so much, and I'm super stoked that we've connected more in the last few months. You know, we've got a lot of things that are like-minded, and I know that we've been drawn together because of that. Um,
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm excited for the future. And guys, if you've been watching tonight or tomorrow or whenever you do, we'll pop this up on Instagram as well. If there's anything you'd like to ask either of us, just give us a bell. If you'd like to learn more about these products or the opportunity, we would love to talk to you as well. As always, go to earnings.avon.com to look at more information on earnings. But Shauna, thank you so much, my love. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me, and have an incredible day. I just live vicariously through your travels right now. So much for having me on here, and thank you for anyone that tuned in. Love to chat to you all soon.
Awesome. Bye, guys. Night, night.